South of BC in Washington state, there's been a spike in new cases, and wearing masks in public is now mandatory. Failure to wear one is a crime. More than 4,000 people in that state are in the hospital now with COVID-19, and one hospital near Seattle has run out of beds. The situation is worse in some other states. As Jennifer Johnson reports, the rate of new infection is surging back to where it was in April.
The U.S. is reporting almost 35,000 new cases of COVID-19 Wednesday, levels not seen since April. Texas is breaking records, Florida too, a staggering 5,500 new cases in one day.
We have large parts of the country that believe that somehow the pandemic is over. That is going to get us into a lot of trouble.
The governors of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, once the pandemic's epicenter, are now demanding any visitor from a high-risk state quarantine for 14 days.
We have taken our people through hell and back, and the last thing we need to do right now is to subject our folks to another round.
As cases rise in California, there's a new high-tech tool for travelers at Los Angeles International Airport, the third busiest in the world. Thermal imaging cameras checking temperatures.
I think it's necessary, 100%.
Rates are spiking in Arizona, too, where U.S. President Donald Trump rallied young Republicans at a Phoenix megachurch, again using a racist name for the virus.
Kung flu, yeah.
Next month, the federal government begins testing of what it says is its most promising vaccine. 1,000 people in Chicago volunteering to get it.
It could be the beginning of the end of this god-awful pandemic.
The vaccine is one of several in the works worldwide, but the virus is showing no signs of slowing down. And experts fear protests earlier this month and the busy July 4th holiday will keep cases surging. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.
The European Union is expected to decide this week how it will relax travel restrictions to Europe, allowing people from some non-European countries to visit this summer. Some countries may not make the safe list, though. Brazil, Russia, and the United States could remain banned. Redmond Shannon is in London to explain why it's far from a straightforward decision for European leaders. Redmond?
Dawna, anyone looking to travel from Canada to the UK right now is obligated to self-isolate for 14 days. But there are almost no options for anyone looking to travel from Canada to the European Union, the bloc that the UK left back in January. However, come July 1st, at the height of the tourist season, most of the EU could reopen its external borders. The tricky decision for leaders there will be which countries should they leave off the approved visitors list. EU nations are haggling over what criteria to use. They are reportedly going to look at the total number of new cases per capita in the past 2 weeks. That's likely good news for people coming from Canada, but not for those from south of the border. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was asked for his reaction to the reports that travelers from the United States would still be banned.
We certainly don't want to reopen a play that jeopardizes the United States from people traveling here, and we certainly don't want to cause problems anyplace else. I'm very confident in the coming weeks we'll figure that out as between not only the United States and the EU, but the United States and other parts of the world too.
Of course, the number of cases in a country can often be low because of a low level of testing or because of unreliable data. And that will make this a political decision as much as a safety one. Ottawa could also be faced with deciding whether to return the favour to EU countries. Some of them have much higher infection rates than Canada. The EU may announce the so-called safe list of countries later this week, along with the measures that travellers will have to take when arriving. Dawna?
All right, Redmond Shannon in London, thank you. The International Monetary Fund says the decline in global growth is worse than forecast. It now predicts the global economy will shrink 4.9% this year. That's significantly worse than the 3% drop it predicted in April. It would be the worst annual contraction since immediately after the Second World War. The IMF estimates Canada's GDP will decline by 8.4% in 2020, and that's a 2.2% steeper drop than forecast 2 months ago. The IMF does expect a rebound next year, as long as there isn't a big second wave of COVID-19.
Sunday on Coronavirus, the new reality.
I want to give her a hug, but I can't.
COVID rewrites the minor sports rulebook.
Not only are we missing the game, he's also missing the interaction with his best friends.
The new look of post-pandemic play, Sunday at 7 on Global.